Most people moving to Loudoun County make the same mistake. They assume every town here offers the same basic lifestyle, just with different home prices. But that could not be farther from the truth, as some areas are better for schools, some are better for commuting, some give you way more house for the money, and some look amazing online, but might be a terrible fit for your actual day-to-day life. So in this video, I'm ranking my personal top 7 best places to live in Loudoun County, Virginia, with the real pros, the real drawbacks, and the stuff you need to know before moving here. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly where in Loudoun County you should be looking and where you should skip altogether, and you're not gonna wanna miss it, so let's dive right into it. Boom! Hey everybody, it's David, your favorite realtor. So yes, these are my personal rankings, and I'll be starting off with the 7th best place to live and working our way down to the #1 best place to live in all of Loudoun County. Now, all 7 of these areas on this list are fantastic places to live. We're really splitting hairs here, and depending on your lifestyle, your budget, and where you work, number 7 on this list could easily be #1 for you. Now, I'm just doing a quick overview of each suburb, but I've done full videos on each of these areas where I really dive in deep, and I'll leave links to those videos in the description. Alright, so let's kick this video off with the 7th best place to live in Loudoun County, with Sterling, more specifically, the 20165 zip code side of Sterling. So Sterling is going to be located right on the border of Fairfax County, running adjacent to the Potomac River, and it's about 30 miles away from Washington, D.C., and is 12 miles away from Dulles International Airport. So one of the biggest pros of Sterling is its convenient location. First, it has Route 7, which is a major commuter route that runs right through Sterling, and in one direction takes you straight into Ashburn and Leesburg, and the other takes you to Reston, Great Falls, and the Tyson's Corner area. So commuting to other parts of Northern Virginia from Sterling is very convenient. So think of Sterling as your Loudoun County location hack. Then everything you could possibly need in life is in Sterling. First, you have an abundance of shopping plazas with grocery stores and restaurants all throughout. Then you have Loudoun County's only indoor shopping mall with Dulles Town Center. You even have a Costco in Sterling. What else could you want? But I will say this, quick pro tip on the Costco in Sterling. Don't even go to that one. It's a mob scene in there. Drive 10 minutes away to the Costco in Leesburg, and you can thank me for that tip later. Then for your outdoor lovers, you have Algonquian Regional Park, which is a 838-acre park that is right on the Potomac River, featuring picnic shelters, 2 to 3 bedroom vacation cottages that you can rent out, a water park called Volcano Island, and who doesn't love a water park? Plus an 18-hole public golf course with very reasonable rates. Now, housing-wise, Sterling covers almost every single style and price point. You will find one-level condos, townhomes that are great for first-time home buyers, and gorgeous brick front colonial style single family homes. Now, price-wise, the median sales price for a single family home in the 20165 side of Sterling comes out to $972,000, which makes Sterling the most affordable area on this list. So I actually personally lived in Sterling myself in the Cascades neighborhood from 2010 to 2016, and I absolutely loved my time living there. So the overall feel I got was a family-friendly, quiet, safe neighborhood that offered convenient living. Now, the biggest con with the 20165 side of Sterling is older homes, especially when compared to other suburbs in this video, as 83% of all the homes in Sterling were built before the year 2000. So newer construction options are going to be very limited. But with that being said, if you want the most affordable home prices in Loudoun County, great commuter access, and a ton of shopping and recreation nearby, then Sterling is a great place to call home. Next up, and coming in at number 6, is Aldie. So Aldie is located right next to South Riding, Leesburg, and the Ashburn area, and is 40 miles away from Washington, D.C. So if you actually have to commute into D.C. for work, I probably wouldn't recommend Aldie, because that drive during rush hour is gonna be brutal and it'll wear you down fast. So Aldie has absolutely exploded in growth and popularity over the past 10 years. And that's because Aldie's an A+ area to raise a family with top-notch, highly rated schools and stunning newer homes. And I'm not exaggerating when I say this. The most beautiful homes you'll find anywhere in Northern Virginia are right here in Aldie. My jaw drops every single time I'm out there. So if newer homes is what you're looking for, then Aldie may be a perfect fit, as 65% of all the homes were built after 2010. with the majority of homes being in upscale neighborhoods with the latest designs. Now, I know all of this sounds great, beautiful newer homes and great family-friendly neighborhoods, but there's a huge trade-off, and that trade-off is price. As Aldie is not a budget suburb, so the median sales price for a single-family home comes out to $1,385,000, which makes Aldie by far the most expensive suburb in this video. Now, the biggest con with Aldie is lack of convenience. There's really only one shopping plaza, so for more restaurants, grocery store options, and activities for the kiddos, you're most likely gonna have to drive into the neighboring towns like Brambleton, Ashburn, and Leesburg. So if convenience is one of your top priorities, then Aldie is probably gonna disappoint you. So I personally live in Ashburn, which is one of the most convenient places to live in Loudoun, as everything I possibly need in life is within 5 minutes of my front door. So this is the main reason why Aldie is not on my list of areas I would personally live in, because convenience is very important for me. But I will say this, every time I go to Aldie and see how beautiful the homes are, my tune starts to change, so you actually never know. But bottom line, if newer homes, top-rated schools, and jaw-dropping curb appeal matters most to you, and you don't mind driving a little farther for your day-to-day errands, then Aldie is absolutely worth a serious look. Now, as much as I love making YouTube videos about living right here in Northern Virginia, what I love even more is helping folks just like you relocate to the area. So if you're even thinking about moving to Northern Virginia, reach out to me, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. Just know I got your back when you move into Northern Virginia. Coming in at number 5 is South Riding. So South Riding is a 6.8 square mile master plan community. It's broke ground in the mid-90s and is known for a highly rated schools, a strong family vibe, top-notch amenities, and where home prices are way less compared to nearby areas. Located in the Loudoun County side of Chantilly, South Riding is gonna be 33 miles away from Washington, D.C. and about 8 miles away from Dulles International Airport. So South Riding features over 6,300 homes, 28,000 residents, and is one of the largest master plan communities in the entire state of Virginia. It's literally so big, it takes you about 12 minutes to drive from one end of South Riding all the way to the other. So the amenities are a big reason why people love living here. You've got 4 outdoor swimming pools, tennis courts, fishing piers, 4 miles of bike and walking trails, plus the South Riding Golf Club, which features an 18-hole championship-level golf course with daily rates or full membership opportunities available. And then everything you need for your day-to-day living is right in the neighborhood with South Riding Market Square. This shopping plaza has grocery stores, restaurants, a bank, and a Home Depot. And then for families, schools are a major draw, as South Riding is zoned for one of the most highly rated high schools in the county with Freedom High School. Now here's where South Riding really shines: value, as it is one of the best values in Loudoun County, especially for single-family homes, as the median sales price of a single-family home comes out to $995,000. Now, when you compare it to other popular nearby suburbs in Loudoun, like Ashburn, Brambleton, and Aldie, South Riding single-family homes are anywhere from 10 to 30% less expensive than those nearby suburbs. So I personally spent a lot of time in South Riding, as my wife was raised there, and her parents still live there as well. And I absolutely love South Riding, and I can literally move there tomorrow. But the only reason we haven't is that I don't want to live in the same neighborhood as my in-laws, because the last thing I want is the daily pop-ins. But if your in-laws don't live there, I would 100% recommend South Riding. So it's hard to come up with a real con of South Riding, so I'm really nitpicking here, but South Riding sits right off Route 50, and that road definitely gets really backed up during rush hour, especially when you're heading into Fairfax County. But that's just a small trade-off compared to everything else you get. But bottom line, if you want family-friendly amenities, strong schools, convenience, and bang for your buck, then South Riding is one of the best all-around picks in Loudoun County. Coming in at number 4 is Leesburg. So Leesburg sits right on the border of Western Loudoun, which is the rural side of the county, and Eastern Loudoun, which is the suburban side. So that gives you a small town feel with everything a big town has to offer. So Leesburg is about 40 miles away from Washington, D.C. and 16 miles away from Dulles International Airport. Overall, Leesburg has so much to offer. First, you have downtown historic Leesburg, which is one of the most charming downtowns in all of Northern Virginia. You'll find locally owned restaurants, bars, boutique shops, coffee shops, and 6 breweries. It really reminds me of a smaller, riverless Old Town Alexandria. Then, if you're a foodie like me, Leesburg's culinary scene is one of the best in the county, as you're gonna find many mom and pop locally owned restaurants that you're not gonna find anywhere else in the county, including Melt, which is the best burger spot in the entire state of Virginia. Go check it out, you can thank me later. Then you have the wineries of Leesburg and the rest of Western Loudoun. So if you didn't know this, Loudoun County is also known as DC's wine country, featuring over 40 wineries. And the most popular winery in the county is located right here in Leesburg with Stone Tower Winery. Now, housing-wise, Leesburg offers a huge mix of much older historic homes, newer homes including new construction, family-friendly master plan communities, plus a price range and style of home that will fit whatever you're looking for. So Leesburg actually used to be known for its affordable housing options, especially when compared to Fairfax County. Unfortunately, this isn't the case anymore, as prices have exploded the past 5 years. So the median sales price of a single-family home in Leesburg comes out to $1.1 million. Now, with that being said, you can still find great options well below that number if you know where to look. Now, what is the biggest con? So traffic in Loudoun County overall is very light, especially compared to Fairfax and Arlington County, but there are two exceptions to that rule, and both happen to be right here in Leesburg, as Route 7 and Route 15 will definitely get backed up during rush hour. So it's still definitely nothing like the traffic you can find in Fairfax and Arlington, so this should definitely not be a deal breaker. But bottom line, if you want small town charm, historic character, a thriving local food and wine scene, and a mix of old and new homes, then Leesburg is a fantastic place to call home. Coming in at number 3 is Ashburn, and this one is personal for me because it's where I've lived since 2017. So when people relocate to Northern Virginia, they usually ask for the same things. We want great schools, convenience, newer homes, and plenty to do. Well, Ashburn checks all those boxes and more, and that's why Ashburn ends up being so many people's top choice. So Ashburn is going to be located about 34 miles away from Washington, D.C., and is only 7 to 10 miles away from Dulles International Airport. So some of the many reasons why people love living here is simple. First is day-to-day convenience. You've got many parks and rec centers all throughout. You're close to major commuter routes, and you'll find every grocery store and restaurant option you could possibly want within a short drive. In fact, where I live in Ashburn, I'm within 10 minutes of 7 different grocery stores, including Trader Joe's and Whole Foods. Sometimes I feel like I have too many grocery store options. Talk about a first world problem. Then you have the Ashburn Metro Station, which opened in November of 2022 and is the first time the Metro has ever been in Loudoun County. So now you can take a train straight to Dulles, Reston Town Center, Tyson's Corner, Arlington, DC, even into Maryland. Third, you have One Loudoun, which is a mixed-use area with shops, restaurants, entertainment options, plus residential homes, and is basically the downtown of Loudoun County. So One Loudoun is a popular spot for happy hours, date nights, even late night partying. And this I can say for certain, you will never catch me in One Loudoun after 9 p.m. because I have a very energetic 3-year-old toddler, so I need as much energy as possible, so I gotta be in bed by 9:30. Then housing-wise, Ashburn gives you a wide range of different styles and price ranges, including 2-over-2 townhouse-style condos with rooftop terraces, many different style of townhomes that can get up to 4,000 square feet, colonial-style single-family homes, plus ultra luxury homes that look like they're straight out of a magazine. Now, price-wise, the median sales price of a single-family home in Ashburn comes out to $1.2 million. So I can't believe how expensive Ashburn is now. And to put that number into context, Ashburn's single-family homes are 71% more expensive than they were back in 2019. And that is mind-blowing. So this tells me that Ashburn Premium has officially hit an all-time high. Now, living in Ashburn does come with one major flaw. As I mentioned earlier, Ashburn's only about 10 miles away from Dulles, which is awesome, by the way. But that comes at a cost, as you will hear airplane noise all throughout Ashburn. Now, some neighborhoods, the airplane noise is a lot more noticeable than others, and I happen to live in one of the worst neighborhoods for airplane noise, which is One Loudoun. Now, when I'm inside of my house and the windows are closed, I don't really hear the airplane noise, but if I go out for a walk or I'm hanging out on my balcony, within 5 minutes, I'm gonna hear airplane noise that sounds just like this. Now, I personally don't think it's that bad. At worst, it's a small inconvenience, and it should definitely not be a deal breaker. But bottom line, if you want a newer suburb with great day-to-day convenience and a family-friendly lifestyle, then Ashburn is absolutely one of the top picks in all of Northern Virginia. Next up, and coming in at number 2, is Lansdowne. So Lansdowne is a family-friendly master plan community, and in my opinion, it's one of the most beautiful and sought-after suburbs to live in all of Northern Virginia. But don't just take my word for it, as Niche.com ranks Lansdowne as the 9th best suburb to live in the entire state of Virginia. So Lansdowne's located right between Leesburg and Ashburn, and it runs along the Potomac River. Lansdowne's gonna be about 40 miles away from Washington, D.C., and 12 miles away from Dulles International Airport. So what makes Lansdowne so desirable? First, you have Lansdowne Town Center, which is a mixed-use lifestyle shopping center with nearly 200,000 square feet of restaurants, professional offices, a grocery store, and a gas station. And no matter where you live in Lansdowne, you're never more than 5 minutes away. Then Lansdowne has 3 highly rated schools right in the community, and depending on where you live, your kids may actually be able to walk to school. Now, housing-wise, Lansdowne features over 2,100 homes, with the majority of them being built between 2002 and 2009. You're gonna find 2-level luxury condos near the town center, many different style of townhomes, including 3-car garage townhomes, and beautiful brick front colonial style single family homes. So the median sales price of a single family home in Lansdowne comes out to $1.3 million, which makes Lansdowne the 2nd most expensive suburb in this video. So this is definitely not a budget suburb. Now, like I said, I personally live in Ashburn with my wife and 3-year-old daughter, but if we had to leave Ashburn tomorrow, Lansdowne would probably be number 1 on my list. And that's because everything you need in life is either right in the community or just a few minutes away. Lansdowne is right off Route 7, so getting around the rest of Loudoun County is a breeze. The schools are top-notch, the homes are beautiful, and the overall community is absolutely stunning. Now, the biggest con with Lansdowne is high HOA dues, which come out to around $267 per month. On top of that, you have to pay a one-time $2,500 capital contribution fee at closing. Now, you do get some value for that money, including access to the 30,000 square foot Potomac Club, which has indoor and outdoor swimming pools, a fitness room, and a game room. Plus, the HOA also covers your cable and internet. But bottom line, if you're looking for a beautiful, quiet, family-friendly community with strong schools, great convenience, resort-style amenities, and some of the best housing options in the entire county, then Lansdowne should absolutely be on your radar. And coming in at number 1, the best place to live in all of Loudoun County is Brambleton. So Brambleton is an award-winning master plan community that broke ground back in 2001 and is gonna be located about 33 miles away from Washington, D.C. and only 8 miles away from Dulles International Airport. So without question, Brambleton is one of the prettiest suburbs in all of Northern Virginia. Everything is clean, everything feels newer, the landscaping always looks great, the roads feel newer, the homes are stunning, and when people drive through Brambleton for the first time, they usually say the same thing. Wow, this place is special and I could definitely live here. So some of the many reasons why people love living in Brambleton is simple. First, you've got top-notch amenities all throughout the community, including multiple outdoor swimming pools, over 18 miles of walking trails, playgrounds for the kiddos, sports courts, and standout parks like Holland Bernie Hanson Regional Park and Brambleton Regional Park and Golf Course. And talk about convenience, Brambleton Town Center sits right in the center of the community, so no matter where you live, you're never more than 5 minutes away from groceries, banking, doctors, restaurants, shopping, movie theater, the library, and a health club. Then you've got the schools, which are some of the most highly rated and desirable schools in all of Loudoun County. And this is one of the biggest reasons families love Brambleton so much. Now, housing-wise, Brambleton offers a really strong mix. You'll find a variety of townhome options, including luxury townhomes, beautiful single-family homes, and one of the newest and best 55-plus active adult communities in all of Northern Virginia. But where Brambleton really shines and where it separates itself from most suburbs in our region is the newer homes. In fact, over 50% of all the homes in Brambleton were built after 2010, which makes Brambleton one of the newest communities in the DMV. Now, newer always comes at a price, as the median sales price of a single family home in Brambleton comes out to $1.23 million, which does make it one of the more expensive suburbs in Loudoun. But like they say, you get what you pay for, and I truly believe that price tag is worth every penny. Now, it's really hard to come up with a major con for Brambleton, but if I had to nitpick, it would be that Brambleton skews heavily towards families, as it is one of the best places in Northern Virginia to raise kids. But if you're a young single professional in your 20s or early 30s, and you're looking for nightlife, a younger social scene, and walkability to bars and restaurants, then Brambleton's probably not going to be your first choice. But chances are, if you are watching this video, you are a family, so Brambleton's going to be a great fit for you. Now, is Brambleton perfect? Absolutely not. No suburb is. But if you're looking for newer homes, strong schools, family-friendly amenities, beautiful neighborhoods, and day-to-day convenience, then Brambleton is going to be extremely hard to beat. That is exactly why Brambleton earns the #1 spot as the best place to live in all Loudoun County. And if you want to continue your research, check out this video right here, where I break down the real pros and cons of living in Loudoun County as a whole. And trust me, you're not going to want to miss it. And I'll see you in the next video.